All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving deep into a super tense situation heating up in one of the most critical waterways on the planet, the Persian Gulf. This is where you've got massive military power and high-stakes diplomatic chess moves colliding between the United States and Iran. And let me tell you, the tension is just about at its boiling point.
You know, this quote from then-President Donald Trump really just cuts right to the heart of it. That's not just talk. It's a perfect picture of the pressure cooker we're looking at. This isn't just posturing. We're talking about a massive show of force. Warships, fighter jets, all converging on a tiny, incredibly volatile part of the world. The message couldn't be any clearer. The heat is on. So, how in the world do we make sense of all this? Well, we've broken it down into 5 key parts to guide us through. First, we're going to look at the raw firepower gathering in the region. Then, we'll get into Iran's incredibly clever counter-strategy. After that, we'll see if there are any diplomatic ways out of this mess, check out the new alliances forming, and finally, really unpack what's at stake for everyone. All right, first up, the hardware. To really get a feel for the threat level here, you have to see what's actually moving into position. This is way more than just a few ships. It's a very deliberate, very powerful message being sent through pure steel.
Yeah, this is so much more than a routine deployment. We're talking about a comprehensive military package. It's designed for one thing and one thing only: deterrence. The goal is to send a signal to Tehran that is absolutely unmistakable, that Washington is ready to act with totally overwhelming force.
Okay, now what's really fascinating here is the sheer variety of what's being sent. You've got the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group. That's basically a floating city with its own air force. You've got the most advanced F-35 and F-15 jets. Then on the defensive side, you've got Patriot and THAAD missile defense systems. And get this, they've even got specialized planes in the air whose whole job is to sniff out any nuclear activity. It's a full spectrum message for sure. But Iran, they're not backing down 1 inch. This quote from one of their top military commanders is a crystal clear sign of their defiance. The message is simple. We are ready, and trust us. Any attack will have severe consequences. This whole thing is shaping up to be a very, very dangerous test of wills. And that brings us to Iran's playbook. Look, they know they can't go toe-to-toe with the US, dollar for dollar, or carrier for carrier. So they don't even try. Instead, they've come up with this brilliant and frankly dangerous strategy that's all about turning America's greatest strength, its massive, high-tech military, into a potential weakness. So this right here is the key idea you have to wrap your head around. Asymmetric warfare isn't about meeting force with equal force. Nope. It's about being clever. It's about using surprise, using the local geography to your advantage, and using unconventional weapons to completely change the rules of the game.
And this little thing is a perfect example of that strategy in action. This is not a destroyer. It's not a cruiser. It's small, it's fast, and it was designed with one single purpose in mind: to be an absolute nightmare for big, slow, conventional warships.
So what makes these so dangerous? It's how all these features work together. It's super fast, hitting almost 40 knots. It's got a stealthy design to make it hard to spot. But here's the kicker. It can actually dip just below the surface for a moment to completely disappear from radar. That gives it just enough time to get close and fire off its torpedoes. But here's the thing. One of these boats, on its own, it might be annoying, but it's not a real game changer against a billion-dollar US warship. That is not the real threat. The real threat is a swarm. Yeah, a swarm. Iran's entire strategy is built around launching dozens, maybe even hundreds of these cheap, fast boats all at the same time. The goal is to just completely overwhelm a ship's advanced defense systems with sheer numbers, coming at it from all directions in the crowded, shallow waters of the Gulf.
And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. It's a clash of philosophies. On one side, you have the multi-billion-dollar American aircraft carrier, a masterpiece of technology built for the open ocean. And on the other, you have Iran's cheap, numerous fast boats, which are perfectly designed for the coastal shallows where this fight would actually happen. It's the classic quality versus quantity showdown.
And this way of thinking isn't just limited to the sea. Check this out, the Shahed Bayari. Iran literally took a giant container ship and converted it into a mobile floating drone carrier. It can launch waves of up to 60 drones at a time, creating an aerial swarm to go along with its naval one. It's innovative, it's cheap, and it is incredibly dangerous. So while all these military chess pieces are moving around the board, there's another game being played at the same time: diplomacy. And the question is really simple.
With tensions this high, can talks actually pull these two sides back from the brink?
I mean, listen to this from Iran's top diplomat. He made it perfectly clear. They were ready to fight. This isn't a bluff. It's a statement of readiness. It's their way of saying that while they might talk, they absolutely refuse to negotiate with a gun pointed at their head. But other countries in the region are desperately trying to find a way out of this. Turkey, a really key player, has been extremely vocal about its opposition to a military conflict. Their foreign minister is basically shouting from the rooftops that dialogue is the only way forward here. And this effort goes all the way to the top. Turkey's President Erdogan has personally offered to play mediator. He's trying to leverage his country's really unique position. I mean, it's a neighbor to Iran, but also a NATO ally of the US, to try and bridge this massive gap. It just shows you how worried the rest of the region is about this whole thing blowing up. Now, none of this is happening in a vacuum. This standoff between the US and Iran is actually speeding up the creation of new partnerships, and it's pulling in other major world powers. The entire geopolitical map of the Middle East is being redrawn as we speak. And this right here is a huge deal. You have Iran, Russia, and China holding joint naval drills together right at the mouth of the Persian Gulf. This is a direct, coordinated challenge to decades of American naval dominance in these waters. It's a major signal that there are other powerful players on the block now. And you know, this partnership goes way beyond just a few military exercises. We are talking about deep, strategic cooperation, sharing intelligence, joint military planning, Russia giving advanced air defense systems to Iran, and China helping out with sophisticated cyber and satellite tech. This is a new coalition forming in real time. Okay, so let's put it all together. You've got military forces staring each other down, diplomats scrambling for a solution, and new alliances hardening. So what are the ultimate stakes? Why should the rest of the world care about this regional standoff? Well, it really all comes down to this one number, 20%. Roughly a fifth of the entire planet's daily oil supply sails right through that tiny choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. Any conflict there, even a small one, could send massive shockwaves through the global economy, and that means affecting gas prices for all of us. Which leaves us with this final, really crucial question. We've seen the warships, the ghost boats, the drones. We've also seen the urgent calls for talks. In a high-stakes confrontation like this one, where all this incredible firepower is on full display, is there still a path for diplomacy to actually win the day? You know, the answer to that question isn't just going to decide the fate of this standoff, it's going to shape the future of the entire region for decades to come.